Let's talk about the bread.
Yeah.
This was the biggest comment from our audience. Bread's changed.
It did change.
And I've also heard that you're testing the recipe that is more reflective of the original recipe. How's that going?
True.
What's the plan with bread? I think that's the thing people were most, bummed about when you made those changes.
Yeah, some were bummed, some just got mad, right? I mean, it went the spectrum.
People love their bread.
Spectrum was, hey, I love the new bread, to I hate your new bread, right? And that's all fair, right? We want to hear. And so let's go back to the why, right? So we were in a commissary building that did a lot, multi-purposed, dry storage areas, cold storage areas, made bread in it. We were growing at the same time. And so when you think about a bakery, a true bakery, you want the conditions to be consistent. Humidity the same, the temperature the same, environment the same. And the way eegee's had been making bread over the past few years, again, it was in a warehouse that didn't enjoy that. And so we were getting comments as the seasons changed here. We would get comments about our bread because dough performs differently in different temperatures in a different environment. It's falling apart, it's cracking. So we're like, okay, we have to address the bread issue. So we've got complaints about the bread everybody liked. And so we had to quickly do 2 paths at the same time. Phoenix had been growing, so the current commissary making the bread was running out of capacity. So they just weren't going to be able to keep up with the new stores. So there was that dynamic. And then we had complaints about the other bread. So there was that dynamic. So we worked with the company to say, how do we get to scale? Because we're going to run out of time. How do we get to scale and ramp it up? We did a small test, got some good feedback, and we rolled it out. Went over well with some, and then some people, like I said, were just mad at Hornets at us. And so, and that's all fair, right? It's, again, when you talk about people feel like it's their brand, that's where they have the right, and we want to hear their feedback. What I want them to know is it wasn't done to say, oh, we're about to save a bunch of money, so we're going to do this. It wasn't about that. It actually cost us a little bit more to do that. When we made the change, we also knew at the same time we were going to find a longer term solution. And what did that look like? It was where we could get fresh bread daily, locally sourced in the state, something that, yes, was closer to what the original recipe, and by the way, that original recipe had been changed about 10 times over the last 15 years because ingredients just change. When you go to the grocery store and you see 10 types of sugar, you have one brand that you like, and you can look, well, they're all kind of sugar, but I like that brand, and you put it in there. Well, if that brand of sugar goes out of business, you're now forced to pick something else. And yeah, it's sugar, but then it's going to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
And as other companies over time go out of business, then yes, some ingredients did change, and it wasn't the recipe change, but then you put 4 new ingredients in a product, it becomes a different product. And over the past 10 or 12 years, that's what had happened to the bread. And so we were very excited. We've been working with Capistrano's Bread, just a company, family owned in Arizona that's been in business for 40 plus years. They make a great product. We put it out on social where we've been testing in 4 restaurants. We're going to expand that to 4 more restaurants. We've been receiving great feedback, and we're letting our guests say, hey, this is the bread we like. This seems like what it originally was. And what I want to caution them on is we can never get you back to 71, right? It is, I wish I could, but I can't. But what I can tell you is that we take it very seriously, we care about it, but we didn't want to just whiplash our guests. We didn't want to jump from this bread to this bread to this bread and keep trialing and erring. We wanted to say, what's our northern star here, right? It's the eegee's and it's this bread. And again, the tenets that we wanted to work through, again, we're fresh, locally sourced, and we get the customer feedback, and then we'll say, hey, it's right for the brand, and we'll put an announcement out when we're ready to go system wide. If that's what happens, I feel good about the feedback we're getting is just through the roof great, and our team's excited about it, and we feel like it's a big win for our guests if that's what they're asking for.
And you reinforce that with every single question, so I believe you.